welcome back to the second video of testing old operating systems in 2017, where I look at old operating systems like Windows 98, Windows NT, Windows 95, and I see if they can run in 2017 and they can do the same things as a Windows 7 or Windows 10 computer. For this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Windows 98 2nd Edition. Now, Windows 98 2nd Edition was released in May 1999. It was an update to the original Windows 98, that was, Windows 98, but however, Windows 98 2nd Edition was an update that brought a lot of new features. It brought in better audio support, better modem support, better USB support, and it also brought some other features, and it was superior to Windows 98, and it's kind of like Windows 98 Service Pack 2, so yeah. And Windows 98 was a very popular version of Windows 9X, probably one of the most popular. It succeeded, I think it was the predecessor to Windows 95, and Windows Millennium and Windows 2000 succeeded Windows 98 in 2000. So before we look at Windows 98, I know what you may be thinking right now if you are very tech savvy and you look at old operating systems. This isn't Windows 98. You may ask. This is like Windows 2000 or Windows ME. Now, you are right. This is actually not how Windows 98 is supposed to look. As you can see, the windows are more whitish, and we got a gradient. Now, the original Windows 98 did not have light windows, like white windows, and a gradient. It had a much more darker theme, which if we go to Properties, and now what I've did is I've installed something called an unofficial theme. It's a Windows 2000 theme, and it makes Windows 98 look a lot like Windows 2000, and it looks a lot more modern. But if we go to Properties, this is Windows 98, Microsoft Windows 98 2nd Edition, version 4.10.2222A. You can still go back to the original Windows 98 thing. This is how Windows 98 was originally supposed to look, but this is how Windows 2000 looks. As you can see, this is the original. It's a lot darker. You don't have a gradient. Yeah, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Microsoft Office. Now, what I've installed is I've installed some unofficial updates, and they also came with all this stuff. We have the DCOM configurator, the management console, the registry cleaner, shared DLLs, removal tool, Word97, object viewer, WinDiff compare tool, and WinTop, and Cab Packer. These are not included with Windows 98, but they are installed with the unofficial Service Pack 3, which I can have a link down in the description. And WinTop, basically, it kind of shows you all the processes that are running, but you can't end them. Oh, can't get out of that. Registry Cleaner, it cleans up the registry, looks for errors. Cab Packer helps you make cab files. And Object Viewer, I'm not really sure what this is, but I guess they're useful. And yeah, okay, now we're going to look at Microsoft Office. Actually, before we do that, I actually have, the Service Pack also added something called Remote Desktop Connection, which is bundled in Windows XP. But however, I guess you can get it to Windows 98, so you can connect to a remote computer using Remote Desktop Connection, which is kind of useful. I mean, that you can do that in Windows 7 and Windows 10. Also, we have, what else did this add? Front Page Express, some VPN thing. I guess this is some way to set up a virtual private network, I guess. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much all that it adds. Also, we have Plus 98, which I did actually a video on how to install this. And Plus 98, it basically comes with a lot of stuff. You get a deluxe CD player. Also, you got something called the Maintenance Wizard, which you can set a time when it will automatically run disk cleanup, the disk defragmenter. It will scan the computer for viruses, and it will also clean up the start menu. And I set it so every time that I boot up, Plus 98 will clean up my computer, and so it will optimize it every time the computer starts, which that's not in Windows 10 and Windows 7. I mean, you could make a registry key or some sort of a startup thing where it would run a startup, but this is a lot more easier and more efficient. And you cannot install this on Windows 7 and Windows 10. Also, you got desktop themes. You can change your desktop to like a lot of stuff. You can change it to like let's see. You got Windows Default. You got Windows 98 High Color, and you got a lot of themes. I think there's like Garfield, and there's Peanuts. As you can see, there's Peanuts. As you can see, and there's a lot of other stuff. So that's kind of nice. Also, we have a virus scanner, but however, it's probably outdated and probably won't be able to help us with new viruses. But probably like old Windows viruses, will probably be able to detect them, which is a good. And now I was going to look at Microsoft Office. So the latest version of Microsoft Office that you can install on Windows 98 and Millennium is Office XP. This is actually Office 2002, but I guess Microsoft just called it Office XP. You know, I haven't activated it yet, but this is XP. It looks a lot modern. You got these nice windows. I first actually installed a copy of Office 2000 Premium, and then I upgraded to Windows XP. And there's still actually a few Office 2000 programs that were actually kept, like Front Page. This is actually Front Page 2000, but I guess there's no Front Page XP, so I guess it just stayed with Front Page 2000. And yeah, and this is Front Page 2000. And if you go to the About Microsoft Front Page, yeah, it plays the startup sound. Also, if you go on Windows 2000, it plays the Windows 95 startup sound. And you got Outlook 2002. Basically, anything, if it says Office XP, it means Office 2002. I'm not really sure why. I mean, yeah. And pretty much got Publisher, Excel, and some other stuff. And yeah. And now we're gonna look at web browsing. Actually, before we look at web browsing, I'm gonna show you about something that I installed called Kernel X. And basically, this is a compatibility layer or something. And basically, you install it. And what Kernel X allows you to do is it allows you to install Windows 2000 and Windows XP programs that won't work on Windows 98 or ME. Like, you have to have Windows 2000 or Windows XP, or else you can't install this. It allows those programs to be installed on Windows 98 2nd Edition and Windows ME with no problem. Just to show you what this does, just to show you this in action, I'm gonna go ahead and drop in a Windows 2000 only program that will only operate on Windows 2000 or later, and we will try to launch this on Windows 98 and see what would normally happen. I'm gonna go and put this on the thing. This is Opera 12.8. Okay, I gotta put this on the machine. Give me a second. Okay, now I'm going to show you Kernel X in action. So I have a Opera installer. It's 12.02. And okay, I'm going to open it and we'll see what happens. Oh no, we got a bunch of errors. A device attached to the system is not functioning. We're missing a DLL. Oh no. Usually you won't get this error. You'll sometimes get like a weird error like this. Or sometimes it'll just say, sorry, you need Windows 2000. I detected that you don't have Windows 2000, so I'm going to exit because of that, because I'm an asshole, or something like that. But if we right-click with Kernel X installed, as you can see, we have a tab called Kernel X, and we can go to here, and we can select what operating system we want this program to run on. And basically, Kernel X tricks the program into thinking that it's running on a newer version of Windows. It's just tricking it, and it will actually run. It's kind of like an API, but okay. So we'll try running this in Windows 2000 mode, and now when we run this application, since Kernel X is enabled and it's gonna do its thing, this program will actually launch. As you can see, it actually launches, and we don't have any errors. As you can see, I have the Windows thing over here. It's actually loading. I'm not pulling any tricks here. This is it, and it will work. It will actually launch. And we can actually install this. But I already have it installed. As you can see, we can install it now. But I already have it installed, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel. And I'll delete this since I already have it installed. I guess delete this again. Okay, there we go. So we're going to start it up. This is Opera 12.02. I'm not really sure how old this is. but it's a Windows 2000 only application that we managed to get running with Kernel X. And programs, it's kind of slow when you're recording because you're using a lot of memory. Also, I have Vlc Media Player, which allows you to, it allows you to run a lot of media files. Okay, Opera starts up. Now YouTube will load, but however, YouTube will Vlc Media Player is open. I'll go ahead and do this. How old is this? Okay, we got weird text here. How old is this? Is there an about thing? Well, I guess not. Anyways, Vlc Media Player is a media player and allows you to open up a lot of media files. Pretty much any media files. You can see you got a large variety of files like MP4, AVI, and pretty much any video file or audio file will be able to run with this. And it's way superior than the original Windows Media Player. Also, the latest version of Media Player for Windows 98 is Media Player 6, released in 2001, bundled with Windows XP. It's a good thing, but it can't play stuff like MP4 and 2002. It can't play stuff like MP4 files and other formats, so VLC does that. Also, the version of Internet Explorer Windows 98 comes with is Internet Explorer 5 for 2nd edition, Internet Explorer 4 for 1st edition, but we're using 2nd edition. But however, we upgraded this Internet Explorer 5 to Internet Explorer 6, which is the latest version. It came out in like 2001 or something. Yeah, it's bundled with Windows XP, but it's a very bad version. Hardly nothing works on it. Like any site that you try to go with will just error out. Most sites error out, and even if they do happen to load, they'll just load very bad, and you won't be able to see everything. This is MSN. As you can see, it does load, but everything is, well, I guess it's not as messed up. But it's a little messed up. But it kind of renders okay. We'll try Google. Google does not work. Even Google does not work on Internet Explorer 6. You can go to it. And yeah, cannot find served. This is the most common error message with Internet Explorer when you're trying to use it in 2017. Like YouTube. I want to watch some YouTube videos. Well, not today. Bing.com. See how Bing loads. Okay, Bing loads. I guess only all Microsoft sites render perfectly on this. But yeah, and but nothing works. Nothing works, and it's a shitty browser. Now, some sites that don't really rely on JavaScript and stuff like this, some sites that just don't use CSS or JavaScript, like motherfuckingwebsite.com. Yeah, it's a real website. It's a real website, and it's just a bunch of text. It doesn't use any photos or anything. And as you can see, it load this motherfucker in IE6. I dare you, and I did. So yeah, I took the dare. And Toasty Tech does load. And I did do this in my Windows NT 4.0 video. I recommend you check out this site. It's a very entertaining site, and it has a lot of stuff to read. It has a lot of interesting stuff to read. You can read this, and it renders perfectly in any browser. But I'm not going to be using Internet Explorer because it is evil. And now we have Firefox 2.0 and Firefox 4 and 6. I mean, Firefox 4 was working on Windows 98, but however, once I installed the unofficial service packs, I guess it messed up Firefox, and 4.0 would just all messed up. But Firefox 2 does load, but however, be warned that not all sites will load. YouTube will not work, but stuff like Google works. And this is released in 2008, and as you can see, it loads. And no, do not alert me. Oh god. Okay. Firefox 2. This is the latest version without any kernel modifications. Some websites render okay, but not all of them. I probably wouldn't use this, but however, sometimes it loads. Sometimes it loads. Also, the latest version of Flash Player that can be installed with Windows 98 with Kernel X. Well, the latest version without Kernel X is 9, but however, if you want to go up a little, Kernel X allows you to get like 11, but I'm using 10 because 11 wouldn't work for me, unfortunately. And yeah, it's okay. Control panel, Flash Player. Okay, that's weird, but now we're gonna look at Opera and YouTube now. Now there's a few problems with YouTube that I'm just gonna quickly address. That the site does load, but however there are a few minor problems. Now when you first load it up, it's gonna look a little weird, but as you get, oh god, we get a legal operation. Oh no. Okay. Go on. Can't do anything. No. Don't you love illegal operations? Force start. But YouTube will load, but the fonts are very, 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 very extremely weird. And you're just about to see what I mean. First of all, it will load like this, but if you give it a second, it will finish loading and it will rearrange all of this so it will look good. And it will look like this. And then now it looks a lot better, but however the fonts are just about to get weird. Or not. Well, we'll try watching a video. How about this? This is on the trending list. Now, the fonts are supposed to look, yeah, there they go. They look extremely weird now. And as you can see, it just looks really weird. They look like fancy. They look really fancy and formal. I don't really like it, but you can at least read them, which be thankful that you can at least read them. Now, the video with Flash Player 10 will load, but however, the first like few seconds of it will be all, it will keep buffering. But then like about, once you like wait a few seconds, the video will like fully load and it will begin playing very smoothly. I'm not really sure if you can watch them in HD, but the standard like 480p works perfectly fine and does not buffer the video.
Has your goldfish lost its novelty?
You can see it punching.
Plants, not.
But soon it will fix. It will fix itself up. I guess it's glitchy because I'm using it on a recording. Yeah, I think the recording is taking up a lot of usage, a lot of processor usage. So we can't really watch YouTube videos while we're recording this. But however, I was doing it off camera and it works perfectly fine. As you can see, the fonts are really weird, but however, you can still see them.
Down to here, kid.
And yeah, this is it's very slow, I guess, because I'm recording. As you can see, the comments work. And wait for it to load. I can't really watch YouTube videos in HD. And also the player, like this thing, is also messed up. But however, you can still like skip to other parts in the video and go back, if you know what I mean. But yeah, YouTube, it gets a 7 out of 10. I mean, it loads, but however, the first few seconds of your video will be buffering as hell. The fonts will look extremely weird. But however, it will play. The video will play smoothly once it finishes loading. You can still read the fonts, and YouTube comments work fine. Also, I don't know why the unofficial service packet gave me Word 97. Okay. Oh, okay, here we go. It loads. This is yeah, this is Word 97. It was like released in 1997. Let's see, where's the Office Assistant? I remember that comes with Word 97. But however, Word 97 is not as good compared to Office XP. And yeah, that's most of the stuff we have gotten installed. We also have SeaMonkey, which is kind of reminds me of Netscape. can go to google.com. Windows 98 isn't this slow when by normally, but however, when you're recording, like I said, it uses a lot of usage, and the video everything becomes all laggy. As you can see, Google loads, and you can search for stuff. Do not alert me. These old browsers are always they always like alert you to every single goddamn thing. Like, you're about to view an encrypted page. You're about to leave an encrypted page. Oh my god, it's annoying. SeaMonkey isn't really the best, but don't show this magic again. SeaMonkey isn't really the best, but it will still you know, browse articles. And with Opera and Firefox, you can browse articles. I mean, you can read old web pages. I'm not saying that Opera is only for legacy web pages. Also, you got some other stuff like accessories like Notepad, Paint. Also, you got a lot of stuff. Also, we got Windows Installer Cleanup. I believe this like removes Windows Installer entries. Like, as you can see, it shows you all the stuff we installed, and you can like remove it, I guess. But I don't think it actually removes the program. I don't want to mess with it. Also got Web TV for Windows. I don't even know what this is. I don't even know if it will actually work. Web TV for Windows. Oh, come on. Load. But so far, Windows 98 has it has its downsides, it has its upsides, but it's okay.
Welcome to Microsoft Web TV for Windows.
Okay.
The free G. The program guide in Web.
So you can watch TV.
You're done. To change your choices at any time, go to the configuration program on your program guide.
It's talking to me. Okay. Can you actually watch TV? Probably not, because whoosh, whoosh. Okay. Search. Not really gonna play with this. Not really sure what that really is. And yeah, this is pretty much an overview of Windows 98. And so in conclusion, I'm going to answer your question that you've been waiting for me to answer. Is Windows 98 usable in 2017? Yes, it is. But there are some downsides. Well, the downside is that most programs, some programs, not all of them, but some programs, some modern applications will not be able to run on Windows 98 or ME. Even if Kernel X even is enabled, they'll just error with some sort of DLL error, and you'll probably have to use the old version of it. Like, for example, 7-zip 16.02 installs, but however, the it doesn't work at all, and I have to use 7-zip 9.22. But however, 7-zip can extract files just fine, and yeah. But most programs like VLC will actually work. But however, a lot of programs are not going to be able to run the most modern version of them. Like, for example, you can only do Office XP. Office XP is not the latest version of Microsoft Office. We don't have the latest version of 7-zip. We don't have the latest version of Internet Explorer. We don't have the latest version of SeaMonkey. We don't have the latest version of Firefox. But the old versions work perfectly fine, and they can do what they were meant for perfectly fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I'm now going to shut down Windows 98. And Windows 98 is still a reliable version of Microsoft Windows. It's still a good version. It's still usable. But I wouldn't highly recommend installing this on your real computer. But if you have an old computer that you want to install Windows 98 on, and you want to make sure that you can do stuff on it, yes. Also, Windows 98 would be great for running legacy games and applications. I'll commit changes to the disk. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you have a nice day. I mean, a nice night. Goodbye.